What's up, guys? My name is SnyperSama, but you can call me Sniper. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going over episode 3, or day 3, of our title update for weapon breakdown, or weapon builds, thanks to the Gogmazios weapons that came out with title update 4. Today, we are doing a fan favorite, the Immortal Lance version 4. Now, I started this out during title update 1 because I was noticing that there was a lot of people when Zoshia came out that were kind of struggling. And because of that, I wanted to make sure that everybody could clear it, whether they had my help or a friend's help, whoever. I wanted to make sure that everybody could do so with ease, which is where Immortal came from. This is one of my favorite builds when I am seriously struggling when it comes to some of these hunts. And it's actually really easy to build. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today we are rocking my Aether Pike. This is a Gogmazios Rarity 8 Paralysis Lance. Now, the reason for it is because Gogmazios weapons are insane. You are able to get so much value with just a little bit of re-rolling potential. This one, I have said in the last 2 videos, I did a lot of save resetting to make these builds because I did not have enough supplies, nor did I have enough time because I still work a full-time job, that I could not sit here and just grind out Gogmazios as many times as possible to get all the supplies. So, save resetting, and this was the first weapon that I guaranteed saved, and the reason for it is because of the reinforcement bonuses that I've got. If you guys have watched my previous videos, you know I don't think that the attack boost or 4 attack boost and 1 sharpness is the way to go anymore. However, that is definitely something that it can be adjusted based on playstyle. In the case of this one specifically, the entire build is about staying alive. It is staying immortal. You don't want to be carding. You don't want to lose. Because of that, the idea that I had in my head, at least, was it's okay if you have that weak strike if it means you have some insane protective capability. So we rolled 1 attack boost EX, 2 attack boost EX, 2 attack boost 3s, and a sharpness EX. I was kind of floored when I rolled that because it was definitely not something I was expecting. But all that aside, with the reinforcement bonuses, the ideal thing that you want to be focusing on with this build is sharpness, affinity, and attack. Because like I've said before, I think a good combination of the 3 is more viable and a smarter option than the 4 attack boost. Because yes, I understand attack is important. However, so is affinity, and you don't want to be hitting weak strikes, especially when you're using slower weapons like greatsword or hammer. Okay? The main thing that we're going to pay attention to here is the active skill, Zoshia's Pulse. Zoshia's Pulse is insane, and the reason for it is it's going to give us Super Recovery 2, without needing the ability of having all 4 pieces of numinous gear from Zoshia. Super Recovery 2 is as follows. It allows your health to continue gaining even after you've healed your red health. Typically, that doesn't sound like a lot. However, it matters, and the reason it matters is because Super Recovery, when you get hit, you take a certain amount of health. Let's say you have your 100 and you take 20. 10 of that is immediately lost, guaranteed. The remaining 10, though, out of the 20 becomes red health, and that is health that you will passively recover. What this skill does, is this allows you to not only heal that red 10 health that you had left over, but it also allows you to heal up the 10 health that was immediately lost that never became red health. Meaning you are always passively healing. Okay, super, super important. And the reason it's so important is because we have other skills built into this, like Recovery Up and Recovery Speed, which are not only going to quadruple the speed at which we heal, but it is also going to make us heal more based on the healing sources we may use. What I mean by that is, say, a potion. Let's say a potion heals you for 30. Recovery Up, the way it works at its maximum level, it gives you an additional 30% heal on top of what you got healed for. So if your potion heals for 30, that additional 30% of that is going to be about 10. Okay? Which means instead of healing for 30 health, you're healing for 40 health. It allows you to constantly sit there and keep not reviving yourself, but replenishing your health in a manner that not only is it passive, but when it's deliberate, like you're using a potion, it's even more potent than it was before. Okay? So because of that, if you are using this Immortal build, you want to be making sure that as your active skill, you are rolling Zoshia's Pulse, okay? Ideally, that is what you get with something down here. Guardian Protection, after doing some digging and recreating this build and kind of going into it, it's really, really hard to force a guts roll on this. Not only would you lose this armor piece here that is providing you with earplugs and Divine Blessing and a level 3 and a level 2 slot, but I didn't find anything that really fit in how I liked. If you're able to come up with something else, make sure to let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking for information, advice, tips, tricks, whatever you guys have got going on. So now that I've gone over the weapon, let's take a look at the armor. The armor we're using is all Transcendent, but the most important piece of Transcended gear that we have is the Guardian Ebony Greaves Beta. The reason for this is because Rarity 5 and 6 gear, when you transcend them, ends up getting additional armor, defense, as well as additional deco slots. The deco slots here are what matters the most, a level 3 and a level 2, and we get to take advantage of earplugs and Divine Blessing. Lastly, we have the Arch-Tempered Udra helmet. The reason for this is because we wanted the 3 level 1s. On top of, we have our Numinous overlay. Numinous Van Braces, and the Numinous Shroud. These are all from Zoshia. These mixed with our weapon allow us to get Super Recovery 2 without actually using 4 pieces of gear, meaning we can take higher and more advantage of things like the really, really good pieces that we have gotten since Zoshia came out, okay? Last but not least is we have the Secret Charm. The Secret Charm for me is the only thing that I really think is a necessity other than obviously rolling Zoshia's Pulse on your weapon. And that is a equipment or a recovery up equipment skill with 2 level slots. Ideally, you get something similar to mine where it's got guard, it's got recovery, and it's got 2 armor decorations. The big thing for me, at least the one that I would recommend for you guys, is recovery up at the bare minimum. Level 3 recovery up with at least 2 deco slots. The reason we want at least 2 deco slots is because you want to make sure that you are getting full value out of your defensive Immortal build. The thing about it is that you could get away with only 1 armor slot and recovery up, because in this decoration slot, we have growth. This is just self-improvement. After 5, 10, 15, 20, and then 25 minutes, I believe you just get an attack bonus and a defense bonus, because hunts can take a little longer. Ideally, you don't have to rock this. You could replace it with your protection jewel here. The idea behind it is just to make sure that you have at least level 3 divine protection and level 3 recovery up. Guard just happened to be the one that I have rolled, and I was really lucky with, because, well, at the end of the day, this is an Immortal build, okay? So then we have recovery jewels. These are going to give us recovery speed. This is going to quadruple the speed at which we get our red health back. Challenger, which is going to give us agitator. Chain, which is going to give us burst. Growth, like I just said, for self-improvement. And then earplugs, because our piece of Guardian Ebony gear right here gives us earplugs naturally. Not only are you staying immortal, but if you need to heal for whatever reason, let's say you're getting absolutely got and you're about to go down, this will make it to where if the monster decides to roar and absolutely shaft you, you are not left with your pants down, okay? Last but not least is we have our Lance. Now, the reason we are using the Lance with Guard Up specifically is because Title Update 4 brought a lot of buffs to the Lance. And not only that, but it brought a lot of buffs to Guard Up and other shielded weapons. Now, what I mean by that is they just made things a little easier to perfect guard and to simultaneously move into the next kind of move that you're deciding to do, okay? What I mean by this is you are able to more seamlessly move through and transition between attacks and guards now. And on top of that, Lance got a lot of love and a lot of buffs. And so did Guard Up. Guard Up now reduces damage taken by 30% when you guard, and an additional 50% when it's unblockable attacks. So instead of it being just a, hey, you can block unblockable attacks, that's it, it's only good for those and there's only a few, now it just guarantees when you are guarding, it allows you to lose less health, making it even easier to stay immortal, okay? On top of that, we were able to take full advantage of offensive guard for the increased damage, paralysis attack, that way we are stacking it on, because if you're using this build, we're not going for the fastest clear, we're going for the safest clear, which means why not aim for more paralysis stacks on your opponent, okay? And then guard up and handicraft. Handicraft is really nice just because if you do happen to have a rule similar to mine, 4 attack, 1 sharpness, the extra handicraft just makes it to where you don't have to worry about sharpening. Sharpening itself is not a huge thing. Like I said, you are not going for a fast clear, you are going for a safe clear with this build, and holy is it crazy. You are able to do, you're able to tank so much with this build. I actually might have like a title update 4.5 with a different set of stuff, depending on if I can make it work. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm still doing a lot of testing and figuring things out, but we are getting there. That being said, overall, this build lets you absolutely tank everything. We'll talk to our boy Luke right quick. We'll have Agitator, Coalescence, Self-Improvement, and Elemental Absorption, because I totally forgot to mention that. Thanks to the armor that we're using, when we get hit by that elemental attack, we're also going to have higher elemental resistance to that attack now, which means if you're fighting something like Gaiacris and you get hit with one of his lightning attacks, you're just going to have an easier time now because you're going to have better defense against him. You can see here, we have a 5% affinity, so at least we're positive. We have 282 raw attack, 489 defense, and on top of that, let's go ahead and get hit. You can see how fast my health came back, okay? We see I was at the 5 when that happened. My health is back 2 seconds later because of how easily it is to just get everything back. And then on top of that, Offensive Guard allows us to have 340 attack. It's super, super easy to do pretty much anything you want with this build because you just survive everything. Not only can you just guard everything now, but you can get damage increases off of Perfect Guard. You can block the unblockable attacks. You have Agitator to max out your damage, give you a little extra affinity. Burst to take advantage of the fast strikes that Lance can do. Divine Blessing when you get hit, recovery up, recovery speed, and earplugs if you were to get caught in a rough situation. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. This is Immortal Lance version 4. This is day 3 of my one weapon every day since title update 4 came out. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe. If you guys are as interested in title update 4 and other games as I am, let it be known that I stream most nights over on Twitch at twitch.tv/SnyperSama. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. I'll see all of you in the next one. Farewell.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.